Okay, let's move on to number 5, legal personhood as enforced slavery. The forced imposition of legal personhood upon the living for purposes of taxation, control, surveillance, prosecution, and imprisonment constitutes a modern form of slavery contrary to natural law and human dignity. Even under the Modern Slavery Act 2015, coercion, forced labor, and lack of informed consent are recognized as slavery and servitude. The state uses the system to convert living souls into instruments of commerce, effectively property of government, an act which violates divine law, human law, and divine rights. On 8th of March 2023, former US Prime Minister Rishi Sunak confirmed in the House of Commons that the UK population is subject to a form of statutory slavery. This public admission is now part of the record. Based on credible demographic and mortality data, we affirm that approximately 39.25 million men, women, and children have died within the UK from 1953 to the present, directly or indirectly due to the unlawful system of slavery, through enforced poverty, denial of lawful remedy, coerced treatment, and punitive enforcement. So, anything on that?
Yeah, well, again, it's just basically clarifying the position of the personhood and enforced slavery. So basically, the imposition of the legal personhood, when they attach that to you, it's for purposes of obviously their system. So it's taxation to obtain money, control, surveillance, to prosecute you or imprison you. And it basically all this constitutes a modern form of slavery, which is contrary to natural law and human dignity. Now, the Modern Slavery Act, this is 2015, actually confirms this, and it confirms the issues of coercion, forced labour, and lack of informed consent are recognised as slavery and servitude. So you have an Act of Parliament actually telling you that this is slavery, and this is what the state do. Now, the state uses the system to convert living souls, which is basically you as living man or woman, into instruments for commerce, i.e. a person, a contract, a legal fiction. So effectively, they're turning you property of the government, turning you into property of the government. It's an act which violates divine law, natural law, and human rights. Now, on the 8th of March 2023, the former UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, he also at the House of Commons was dealing with the UK population, but he was actually speaking about the immigrants coming in or the refugees coming into the UK unlawfully. And when he was speaking about them, he actually stated in Parliament that they would not be able to obtain any benefits. But in doing so, he says they would not be entitled to join the slavery system. So he actually stated in the House of Commons that we operate in the UK a slavery system for the people. And that's what he's done. So he's admitted we're slaves. Now, again, this is part of official record. But if we look at what he said, and going back, as we said, to approximately, say, 1953, the Queen's coronation to today, approximately 39.25 million men, women, and children have died while in enforced slavery. And this is just the UK. Now, again, this is through things like enforced poverty. So you've got denial of lawful remedy, again, coercive treatment, and again, this is punitive enforcement. So again, all these things confirm the position, and that's what they've done in relation to the person who's in the slavery position.
Now, it mentions the Modern Slavery Act 2015, which is fine in the UK, but what if you're in a different country?
No, the United Nations Act, this is, I think it's 1958, I think, or 1948, 1958. The United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, it's a universal declaration, we call it, that also abolishes slavery. It says, so slavery is banned everywhere through international law, including the United Nations. The only reason we actually mention the UK is because we're referring to the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, the comment he made about slavery. So we've just highlighted what's happened here, but as the document goes on, it tells you the next point, it covers the international scope of the crime.
Okay, let's move on then.
Yeah.